Okay, here's an additional example, example 8a, solving a quadratic by completing a square when the leading coefficient is not a 1. Solve the quadratic equation by completing the square 2x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 0. In order for us to complete the square, the leading coefficient must be a 1. In this scenario, in step number 1, it's not a 1. In order for us to make it a 1, we need to divide each term by 2. So to divide each term by 2, so 2 divided by 2 leaves you with x squared. 3x, negative 3x divided by 2 leaves you with minus 3 halves x. Minus 1 divided by 2 is 1 half. And 0 divided by 2 is 0. So now we're going to isolate the variable terms on the left side and the constant on the right side. So we have x squared minus 3 halves x, which is equal to 1 half. And then we're going to complete the square by adding n on the left side of the equation and adding n on the right side of the equation. Take a note that b is equal to negative 3 over 2. So n is going to equal 1 half b squared, which is equal to 1 half times negative 3 squared squared. Well, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 2 times 2 is 4, so we get negative 3 fourths. When we square that, we get 9 over 16. So now we're going to add the result to both sides of the equal sign. So we have x squared minus 3 halves x plus 9 over 16, which is equal to 1 half plus 9 over 16. Now we're going to go ahead and then complete the square. So we're going to factor the left side as a perfect square, and then we're going to simplify the fractions on the right side. So we have x minus 3/4 squared, and a minus 3/4 is what we had to square to get 9 over 16. And in order to get 1 half to have a denominator of 16, it's 8 over 16 plus 9 over 16, which gives us 17 over 16. And then we're going to use the square root property to solve. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. We take the square root of the left side, what's remaining is x minus 3/4, which is equal to plus or minus the square root of 17 divided by the square root of 16, which becomes a 4. Now to isolate and solve for x, we're going to add 3/4 to both sides. So we get 3/4 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 4. And therefore x is going to equal 3 plus or minus the square root of 17 over 4. So the two solutions are 3 minus the square root of 17 over 4 and 3 plus the square root of 17 over 4. Now let's take a look at our calculator to verify our solutions. So here's where it crosses the x-axis. So we have 3 minus the square root of 17 divided by 4. And that gives us negative 2.81 rounded to 3 decimal places, so that works. And then we have 3 plus the square root of 17. Divide that by 4, and we get 1.781 rounded to 3 decimal places.